Oh, hey, come along as I put together this table. So this is how it comes, and this is the table. It's boxed pretty nice, so let's go on to the next step. By the way, if you ever get these, don't throw them away, save them. They're good for like storage rooms, or in the winter you can actually put them on top of your windowsill and they help with condensation if that happens to you. But anyway. Okay, packaging was all pretty straightforward and it's all cleaned up in here. Keep in mind when you have styrofoam like this, where you can like easily see all the different particles, this usually falls apart and gets everywhere. In this case, it was fine. These are the instructions. This is the parts list. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. So this looks pretty straightforward. Let's get started. I always like to separate all my hardware before I get started. So they do provide this Allen wrench. One thing that's nice is the back of it fits into these cam locks pretty nicely. So you can use the tools provided instead of having your own screwdriver to help keep these in place. You will need a Phillips head screwdriver for these though. There's no tool provided for that. Also, one thing I noticed is that the dowels that are provided, they go in, but they're very loose. So I don't know how much they're actually gonna help in this case, but we'll see. Maybe if you really cared, you could use wood glue, but I've never done that, so we'll see how this goes. So you have to screw these in all the way until the threads are no longer visible. It should be very sturdy, and when the threads aren't all the way in the actual wood piece, it's like super wobbly. So you'll figure that out. Again, with these dowels, they don't do anything. So when you put this centerpiece for this shelf on, it doesn't really do anything for security. So that might be an issue if this is the only way that it's secured without any screws and it's only with dowels. So let's move on. That's pretty easy. So yeah, this is completely held on by dowels. This piece is screwed in and it's also screwed in here. You can see the back. It's screwed in by these. So this shelf is nice and secure. This might be a little wobbly, but probably a little better once everything's connected. Yeah, and then these are held in by the cam and lock mechanism. So I'll get those started and then we could probably screw on the top and then move forward. So this is what I mean before. It's hard to tell, but make sure to screw it in kind of all the way. Don't over tighten, but you'll know when you hit the limit. Otherwise, this isn't gonna actually catch on to the teeth of this sufficiently and you're not gonna get a really good lock. So make sure this is in pretty tight. So once you get everything screwed in with the top, you get the dowels and then the 2 screws for the cam and locks. The top slides in pretty easily. You'll know that it's a front when the power lines up with this little catcher thing. That's how you know that the front is aligned. Okay. And then the other thing is these are maybe a little hard to get to with the screwdriver in there, but we'll see how it goes. By the way, this did not end up working with the cam and lock screws. So you'll need either a Phillips head or a flat head, whatever works to get that tightened. But anyway, so this is the final product here. The shelf is okay. It slides in with this little plastic bit and there's a track there and that's how the shelf slides in. So it's not like the sturdiest way to get a shelf in, so you can't pull it way out and way in, but it's good to store something like temporarily inside of here. The plug is in the back, so looks like this with USB. So I guess you can kind of have your USB cable and have your phone sitting here or whatever else you want to charge. Or if you want, this could be the front and then you could not use the drawer. That's also an option. So despite my frustration with all of the dowels, the center shelf seems actually like pretty secure. the tension from all these 4 points, I think, make it okay. So this is the finish. There's the trim veneer along the sides, and on the side is sort of like it's like a little hint of pinkish orange. And then you could tell the finish on here is like a really light type of wood here. It's like pretty decent. It's fairly sturdy. You know, it's not the like highest end quality of furniture, but if you're looking for something that is this specific dimension, then I think you'll be pretty happy with how this is set up. So I'll show you how this looks in its final spot, and then we'll take it from there. Here it is. So I needed a very specific type of furniture to fit in this spot, which I think it does pretty well. So there's minimal gap between the wall and the couch, and it's basically as long as this couch arm. So this is kind of the perfect size. The weird thing is the plug for everything is here. There's no plug kind of in the corner back here, and there's no plug back here. So even though there is power back there, it kind of still makes sense to have like a place to kind of stash away all the different cables and have, you know, not cables running everywhere. I might think of a better solution for it in the long run, but this works. So yeah, here's the kind of wider view of everything and how it works. So yeah, overall, I think the table's pretty good. Another kind of weird quirk is I have one side on the carpet and one side on here. So the wobble you can easily fix by creating like a small stack of like little foam pads you can attach to the legs. So I think I'll do that after this. But otherwise, yeah, pretty happy with this. Hopefully this kind of like overall review and assembly was helpful for you to see. And yeah, hope this helps.